Well, former US First Lady Michelle Obama has slammed women who voted for Donald Trump, accusing them of blindly following their husbands.
There are a lot of women who vote the way their man is going to vote. It happened in this election. So just to direct this at women, unfortunately, we've seen is not enough.
Joining us is host of Brad vs. Everyone podcast, Brad Polumbo. Brad, remember when Joe Biden said that if black people didn't vote Democrat, they weren't black? Now we've got Michelle Obama, whose sole claim to fame is being married to a prominent man, claims if women don't vote Democrat, they're somehow not being true to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, will Democrats ever learn? That's a serious question. Will they ever learn that people don't like it when you condescend to them, when you put them in boxes based on their identity and say you have to think a certain way because you check off this box on the census? It's just such a tired and reductive perspective, especially from the people who in our politics are supposed to be the progressives and the open-minded ones. It comes off as so trite and so obnoxious, and frankly, people are repulsed by this kind of thinking. That's why you see in the last election in particular, young people, young men, minorities of different racial backgrounds all turning away from the Democrats. And frankly, they only have themselves and their very outspoken avatars like Michelle Obama to blame. You can't divide people up like this and be surprised when they turn away from you.
You are so spot on, Brad. Look, drama continues at a US track championship in California where a biological male is being allowed to dominate female events. An LGBTQ activist was arrested after allegedly assaulting people protesting for fairness in female sports. A plane flew over the athletic stadium towing a sign, "No boys in girls sports." And in Oregon, 2 girls refused to stand on the podium in protest that a boy had taken first place in their event. Now, just how heated does this issue have to get before state politicians like Gavin Newsom finally agree with the Trump administration that female sports are for females?
What a crazy thought. Wow. I know. It's funny because they wouldn't even just have to agree with the Trump administration. They'd have to agree with the majority of Democrats polled. Normal, everyday people don't support this. They understand that we have to account for biology in sports. Of course we do. It's the extreme activists and the Democratic politicians that are scared to death of them that cling to this toxic and radioactive idea that is manifestly unfair and unreasonable. Look, I can't say I'm surprised by the violent and unhinged approach of some of these activists. That's sort of par for the course from them, but they are losing on this issue because reality and biology and common sense are not on their side. And if some people, some blue states, some Democratic politicians want to cling to this rather than take any sort of sensible compromise, I mean, they're signing their own death warrant, if you ask me, politically speaking.
Well, Brad, you've written the segue for me. Speaking of people divorced from reality, let's talk Greta Thunberg. She's given up on trying to change the weather. The Swedish Goblin of Doom is now on her way to Gaza. She's joined a flotilla of yachts sailing to the Middle Eastern war zone, but not to rescue hostages. No, she's protesting the evils of Israel.
A little bit messy, but I'm trying to go as fast as I can. Right now, we just left Augusta and we're heading towards Catania in Sicily. We're on the Madeleine. We have been trying to sail to Gaza with aid, with solidarity and love for so long, and we are one huge step closer to getting to Gaza now.
So we can see Greta there on the yacht. I'm trying to work out what sort of reception Greta Thunberg is going to get from, the boys in Hamas.
I have questions. They're going to Gaza with solidarity and love. Won't somebody tell the Nobel Prize Committee that the peace is about to be achieved in the Middle East? Greta Thunberg is rolling up with the rest of her friends with solidarity and love. The whole thing is comical, frankly, in the way that they're just like desperate to interject themselves. What do they think is going to happen? Oh, yeah, there's a blockade around this area, but you're Greta Thunberg. Oh, we'll get all out of your way. And even then, do they have a death wish? I mean, it's not safe to be in Gaza. There's a war going on. It's just a really strange but typically attention-seeking and bizarre stunt from Greta Thunberg, who always, she's got an eye for publicity, for getting herself involved in whatever's going on. But this one is kind of a new low, honestly, in terms of exploiting tragedies and seeking attention.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. Brad, it's always a joy to talk to you. Thanks for helping us make sense of America. And we'll see you on Danica and James again next week.